Guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. So thanks for tuning back in. I'm really pleased about to bring you another Berny. They contacted me via Instagram actually. They said to me, we'd like you to feature one of our watches, we like your content. Would you be happy to feature one? And I was like, well, I featured a few Bernys at this point. What did you have in mind? They showed me one. I was like, yeah, I'll have a look at it. It's got the Miyota 0S10, I believe, movement inside. It's the movement that was inside the Seagull 1963 that was good doing the rounds a while ago. I featured it on the channel. It does have that sort of chronograph quartz movement that people do quite like. Sapphire crystal. The only thing that I was a bit unsure about was the size. It looked a bit small. The specs looked a bit small. Was my wrist going to be too big for it? Is it going to be the same for you? These are all questions that I had. So I thought, why not answer them with a video? So here we are. They've sent it over. That's why you saw the includes paid promotion in the top corner. I didn't have to pay for it. I don't need to send it back. But for me, that's going to make no difference. I'm going to be as honest as I can be to help you make an informed decision on how to spend your hard-earned money. Because let's face it, that's what we all want to know. Like we want the best bang for buck when it comes to what we're spending our money on, whether that be watches or anything. So hope I can help. And hopefully you'll know by the end of the video if it's for you. If it is, please use the link in the description. It is an affiliate link. Doesn't cost you any more. Just makes your life that bit easier. That's what we're all about. But guys and girls, I'll stop going on. Thanks for all the support. And let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Alright guys and girls, so this is the watch. Usual Berny packaging it. Well, yeah, pretty much the same as you get with all of it. Out of cardboard box. Witness your legend. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that really. Berny, Chinese writing underneath. I'm guessing that's Berny in Chinese. And Witness Your Legend, I'm guessing that's what that is in Chinese as well. Gold cardboard box inside, cushion, instruction manual, which, I don't know about you guys, that is a proper instruction manual. Look how thick that is. That is War and Peace, isn't it? That is unbelievable. If you need to read that to get the grips with this watch, then more power to you. But yeah, the cushion, sort of velvety sort of material, which is often what you get with watches. I'm not saying it is velvet, obviously, but it's velvety material. And there's the watch, guys. Nice looking piece. They have got another colour one I'll bring up now, which is probably going to be one if you want to, one that's not as colourful. It's probably going to be more appealing to you, but this is the one I've got, and I'm thankful for Bernie sending it out. The model number for this is the 2806M. Inside, it's running a Quartz Miyota movement. It's the 0S10. I'll bring some information up about that movement now. I did have that movement in the Seagull 1963 Quartz piece that I reviewed a while ago. One that a lot of people do quite like. The movement's doing okay for itself. Yeah, no issues whatsoever. It's a quartz movement, chronograph movement. Obviously, given it's a chronograph watch, but that's the movement. And where Miyota is obviously made by Citizen, it's got some extra bit of reliability, and you know about the brand. So there we go. The construction of the watch. So the watch itself, in terms of the case is one piece. And obviously that also includes the crown, the bezel, which is made up of just the case itself, and the lug ends. You got the two pushers, you got the crown and the pusher at 2 and a 4, also made of the same material as the case back, and the pin buckle clasp, which is all 316L stainless steel. Hardly surprising at this point, because that's the sort of material of choice. You do get some watches that are made of alloy, but this is being cited as being stainless steel. All brushed on the case, all polished at the case back, and yeah, polished on the pushers as well as the crown. So yeah, a bit of a mixture. So there we are. The case thickness of this watch is, as you can see by the profile, very slim. It's 9.1 millimeters. The case diameter, when you go from one side, excluding the crown or pushes, it's coming at 35.5 millimeters. And when you go from the 9 to the 3, including the crown and the pushes, are going to be very similar also. It's coming in at 38.2 millimeters. The lug width on this is 18 millimeters, and the lug to lug, tip to tip, is a true lug to lug. And length of the watch, given there's no male links, it's on a canvas strap, it's 41 millimeters. So quite a compact watch. I'm not going to say small, it's quite compact, but that seems to be the way watches are going at the moment. So not massively surprising. The case back, let me just undo this. It's a screwed down case back, and there's got bits of writing on there. Sorry, it's a bit smudged up, guys, but I did include that in the macro shots at the start as well. As I say, the crown situated at the 3 o'clock, sterile, and the push at 2 and 4 which I've already spoken about. And as I say, the bezel's fixed, but it is also just one component, given that it's, as I said earlier, it's made up of the case. Quite coarse brushing on there. You can't feel anything, but as you can see, it looks a little bit industrial. It is a sort of tall chronograph style watch, so not a massive surprise really, let's be honest. The strap it comes on is canvas, sort of like a dark bluish material with orange stitching, and obviously the holes have been reinforced, which is not a bad touch. And as I said, pin buckle clasped. Pin buckle is sterile and all brushed, again in keeping with the watch itself. And the crystal, which was quite a nice surprise given the sort of £40 to £50 and below price point, is sapphire crystal. So you're getting sapphire crystal as well as the Miyota movement, and the dial not looking too shabby either, as well as some other things that we'll talk about in the Pukka section. The water resistance is cited as being 50 meters, so that'll give you 5 atmospheres of water resistance. And the weight will appear just up here, as always. It's just above 48 grams, which given the strap it's on and the dimensions of the watch, probably is about right, really. You wouldn't want it weighing too much because it's quite a compact watch, as I say. But let's have a look at the dial now, guys, in a bit more detail. So nothing's been applied. Everything's been printed on. It is a yellow dial. You've got 3 sub-dials at the 12, 6 and 9 o'clock position. We'll run through that in just a moment. The chronograph I'll start now, which is the chronograph. You've got the red second hand, the big second hand that's moving around. Just below, actually I'll bring up first. I'll bring up the loom, because this was a huge surprise for me. The loom on this was very, very good. I wasn't really expecting it. Not that I've known Berny to have substandard loom or anything like that. Just given the watch, I wasn't really expecting it to be anything special, but the loom on this was very, very good. So yeah, very, very happy with that. As you can see, you got numerals 2, 4, 8 and 10. Everywhere else you just got battens. As I said, only printed on, but yeah, not too bad. Obviously, you sort of like you got different textures for the sub dials, which is quite nice. Sort of a spiral, looks very, very nice. It adds a little bit of different texture to the dial, and I like the fact they've gone for a bit of colour with the red second hand. Maybe they could have incorporated red in the stitching instead of orange. That might have added for a bit more consistency, but that's neither here nor there. As you'll see it now go past 12 o'clock. The sub dial at 12 is the 6-minute sub dial, so you'll find that will go up in increments of 1 as and when you go through there. Hours sub dial just at the 9 o'clock position, and you got the second sub dial down at the 6 o'clock. So that's just doing that. You got the date window at the 3 o'clock. Well, let me just stop the movement, and if you press the one at the 4, it does reset it. Everything will go back to the 12 o'clock position. Let me just take the crown out very quickly. This was one thing that I struggle with a little bit, given the fact I don't have any nails. Actually, listen, we'll leave it for now, because my nails are a bit short at the moment. But yeah, generally, if you've got a bit of nail, you could just put it in the back. It's not a problem to open up. So yeah, like I said, you've got the date window at the 3 o'clock position. Actually, bear me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 moment. Okay, so there we are. So I managed to take the crown out. Let me just move the time away. That was a little bit more tricky than I would like, so I'll make sure I include that somewhere else. Put it into 1, and then you should be able to turn the date. If I've pushed it enough, I don't want to push it too far because it's not the easiest. Oh, give me 1 second. Okay, so I managed to put it now to the date. So if you push it put it towards you, you can put the date going through. It fills the border nicely, doesn't it? You got Berny just beside there printed on, and I put it back in. Then yeah, you'll see that the second hand will start back up again. But that's the dial, guys. That's the movement. Let me just pop it on the wrist quickly, give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. My wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist for your reference, and that's what it looks like on me. It looks like it fits a lot more holes going bigger, but not so much going smaller, and that's a bit of a surprise given the size of the watch. It's not the biggest watch, and it may, unless you like smaller watches, it's going to appeal to watches to wrist size, excuse me, that are going to be a little bit smaller. So that may be a bit of an oversight there by Berny, if I'm being honest. But that's the strap, that's the dial, and I do think it looks like a beautiful piece. Actually, I do like how vibrant it is, nice yellow. But let me just give it a quick wipe, and then that will take me on to what I think is pants and Pukka about the watch. If you've ever watched before, you know I always start with pants. I like to go on a high with Pukka. So what I think is pants is, there wasn't an awful lot really. I'm going to go with the Caseback. I forgot, I showed that to you earlier, so I've got fingerprints on it. It's high polished. I do not like high polished Casebacks. just because they do scratch super easily with very little effort. So I'd like that to have been a bit more brushed. And the crown engagement, as I did mention, it's a bit of a nightmare to get in. I don't have nails, admittedly, but it doesn't leave much room because the crown does go a little bit inside the case. So it does make it difficult to grab hold of. So that's something they need to look at. And the holes, in terms of how many holes they put and where they've situated them in terms of getting smaller. Given the fact it's a smaller watch, I've got an average size wrist, and there's only one hole to make it smaller. That doesn't sound right to me, to be honest. I think that's something to look at. So they're the three things I'll mention. I'll go with the case back, the crown. The crown I'll also go with the fact the crown is difficult to deal with, and the holes in terms of the sizing. There needs to be a few more holes making it smaller, given the size of the watch. So they're the things I'd mention. What I think is Pukka, a few more things actually, because I do think it's a cool looking watch, is I'll go with the dial. The dial's really nice and vibrant. They've also got a less vibrant one if that tickles your fancy more. The sapphire crystal, inevitable. I was going to mention that for the price. The movement, I know it's one that people do like in their Quartz chronograph alongside the sort of Seiko Mecha Quartz movements. So yeah, not bad there. The loom was something that really did surprise me. The loom on this is very good, I will say. The case finishing, I do like the fact where it's a sort of tally chronograph watch, they've made it more so like that. Not many polished surfaces, unfortunately the Caseback is, but otherwise it's all brushed, which I don't mind. And the thickness, 9mm, that's cool. You can easily wear this and just forget about it, which is cool. And with the sapphire crystal, the brushed case construction, it should be a goer in terms of still looking good in the future. So they're the things I mentioned for Pukka. I'll go with the dial, sapphire crystal movement, loom, case, and thickness of the watch. And would I recommend the watch? And yeah, for the price point, I definitely would. I think it's one with the specs, the way it looks. I think it's one that will definitely be enjoyed and will probably last many years. And given the fact you can just unscrew the case back, pop a new battery in it, off you pop, I think that's also a good look. But guys and girls, please let me know what you think about this watch, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like, subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care guys, all the very best.